Hello everyone, good day. We are the group 5 and today we will discuss the nature of learner-centered teaching modalities and structure that facilitate differentiated teaching to suit learners' gender, needs, interests, strengths, and experiences. I encourage everyone to bring out the writing materials, listen intently to our discussion, and jot down the important details. To start with, I am Kate Ashley Nicoladonia and I will discuss the topic delivery modalities. There are four delivery modalities, namely face-to-face learning, blended learning, technology-based online or e-learning, and distance learning.
What is face-to-face learning? Face-to-face learning is an instructional method where course content and learning material are taught in person to a group of students. This learning delivery modality is where the students and the teacher are both physically present in the classroom. And in this learning delivery modality, there are opportunities for active engagement, immediate feedback, and socio-emotional development of learners. The second delivery modality is blended learning. This refers to a learning delivery that combines face-to-face with any or a mix of online distance learning, modular distance learning, and TV or radio-based instruction. Blended learning will enable the schools to limit face-to-face learning, ensure social distancing, and decrease the volume of people outside the home at any given time. Modules, worksheets, activity sheets, and the use of gadgets are the suggested platforms or resources to be used by the learners. The third delivery modality is the technology-based online or e-learning. E-learning describes a set of technology-mediated methods that can be applied to support students' learning and can include elements of assessment, tutoring, and instruction. How does e-learning works? Instruction can be delivered by a combination of static methods and interactive methods. There are three main criteria an enterprise should follow to help ensure an effective e-learning program regardless of the specific platform they end up using. First criteria is the experience should be mobile friendly. The second criteria is the experience should implement social features. The third and the last one criteria is the experience should utilize a variety of different mediums. This is to suit diverse learning styles, including quizzes, infographics, podcasts, demonstrations, and narrative-based learning. The fourth delivery modality is distance learning. This refers to a learning delivery modality where learning takes place between the teacher and the learners who are geographically remote from each other during instruction. This modality has three types: modular distance learning, online distance learning, and TV or radio-based instruction. Modular distance learning involves individualized instruction that allows learners to use self-learning modules in print or digital format. Online distance learning allows live synchronous instruction. It requires participants to have good and stable internet connection. It is more interactive than the other types of distance learning. TV or radio-based instruction utilizes self-learning modules converted to video lessons for television-based instruction and self-learning modules converted to radio script for radio-based instruction.
That's all for my discussion. And bear in mind the four delivery modalities. Now, for the next reporter, let us welcome Ms. April Meritorion to discuss the structures for learner-centered teaching.
Good day everyone, my name is Ipin Maria Esther Yun. So the structure for facilitating learner-centered teaching, the Constitution expressly provide for the grant of basic services to the people. One of this is the grant of equal opportunities for education to all citizens, rich and poor. Yes, as a learner, we have the equal opportunities in education where everyone has fair and equal access to a good quality education regardless of social background, race, gender, and religion, and where people achieve success in education according to their efforts and ability, free of any discrimination. Attorney Olpiano P. Sarmiento III identifies two distinct modes of delivery, namely formal education and non-formal education, which is the technical, vocational, and training or TVET system. So first is the formal education, which refers to the hierarchical structure and chronologically graded learning organized and provided by the formal school system, and for which certification is required in order to learn to progress through the grades or move to higher levels. So formal education, it helps up building competitive approach, creating a social atmosphere, learning and understanding different cultures, and giving in experiences, which is not possible with just informal and non-formal education. So it's also called structured learning or synchronous learning. Example of this is include classroom instruction, workshop, seminars, and more. The formal education, there are three parts. First, the elementary education, which is the first stage of compulsory. Formal education primarily concerned with providing basic education and usually corresponding 6 or 7 grades, including preschool programs. In order as to proceed the secondary level, we must complete this elementary level, and yes, we can proceed to secondary education, which is the state of formal education following the elementary level, concerned primarily with continuing basic education and expanding it to include the learning employable gainful skills, usually corresponding to 4 years of high school, which will be completed in 4 years, and we can proceed to tertiary education, which is the post-secondary schooling is higher education leading to a degree in a specific profession or discipline, or we can call this the third stage. It is the educational level following the completion of secondary education, including universities as well as trade schools and colleges. That's all.
Alright, Ms. Torion introduced to us the structures for facilitating learner-centered teaching. Thank you for that, Ms. Torion. And now, let's proceed to the next reporter, and she is none other than Ms. J. Rose Caballas, and she will discuss the nature of non-formal technical and vocational education and training system.
So now I'm going to tackle the nature of non-formal technical vocational and training system, which is TVET. So TVET is the Constitution mandates that the state shall encourage non-formal, informal, and indigenous learning systems, as well as self-learning, independent, and out-of-school study programs, particularly those that respond to community needs and provide adult citizens, the disabled, and the out-of-school youth with training in civics, vocational efficiency, and other skills. So, non-formal technical vocational educational and training shall refer to any organized program of instruction on technical knowledge and skills proficiency undertaken by the authority or by the other agencies. To implement this mandate, the authority shall provide direction, policies, and guidelines for effective implementation of non-formal technical vocational education and training. Act number 7686, otherwise known as the Dual Training System Act of 1994. Non-formal education provides non-traditional education alternatives to formal schooling. It is expected to play a vital role in the development of productive manpower among the out-of-school children, youth, and adults. The dual system shall be adopted in duly accredited vocational and technical schools in cooperation with accredited agricultural, industrial, and business establishments as one of the preferred means of creating a dependable power of well-trained operators, craftsmen, and technicians of the economy. The Bureau of Non-Formal Education was renamed Bureau of Alternative Learning System by virtue of Executive Order No. 356/2004, signed by the then President Gloria Macapagal Arroyo. So, alternative learning system is ladderized, modular non-formal education program in the Philippines for a dropout in elementary and Secondary schools, out-of-school youths, non-reader, working Filipinos, and even senior citizens. The alternative learning systems only require students to choose schedules according to their choices and availability. The program has two different schematics for conducting instruction, which is school-based and community-based. On the school-based program, instruction are conducted in the school campuses, while in the community-based program, formal instructions are conducted in community halls or private places. Aside from schematics, the program caters to levels, elementary and secondary. Those who graduate from elementary or under a formal classroom system become automatically ready for acceptance to the secondary level, depending on which year level they stop schooling. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Caballas, for that wonderful discussion, and I hope that everyone were listening and taking down notes to your discussion. And now, we are down to the last two reporters. Let us welcome Ms. Jaren Macanlay and Ms. Rogelyn Inso as they discuss the alternative delivery modes both in elementary and secondary level.
Hi, this is Jaren Mokanlay, and I will tackle about the ADMs in elementary level. The ADMs in formal basic education are implemented to enhance certain performance indicators in order to achieve the 2015 targets of education for all and the Millennium Development on achieving the universal primary education. The ADMs are aimed at resolving the learning needs of the marginalized pupils and those learners at risk of dropping out so they can be helped in overcoming social and economic constraints in their schooling. Multigrade instruction. At the elementary level, multigrade instruction is an alternative delivery of formal education whereby there is one teacher for 2, 3, or 4 different grade levels of students in a single class. For example, in remote areas where enrollment rate is low and uneven, classes are combined such as grades 2, grades 3 and 4, and 5 and 6. There are several approaches of strategies used in multi-grade classes to ensure the quality of instruction. One approach is the differentiated instruction, wherein teachers plan strategically to address various learning needs of pupils. Another strategy is to group pupils by ability or mixed ability depending on the teacher's intention or instruction. There is also a modular approach involving the division of the curriculum into specific objectives and creation of the associated learning materials in modules or sections. These are made available to the children grouped according to skills or for independent self-study. Modified in school-of-school approach or MISOSA. MISOSA can be considered a liberating approach. It releases children from the confines of the classroom. It allows and actually promotes learning while at home in the community. MISOSA combines formal and non-formal learning activities to meet the needs of classrooms, learning materials, and teachers. It likewise taps into community resources for instructional materials or sources of knowledge. Under MISOSA, a class of pupils is divided into two groups. Group 1 goes to class for a period of time, while Group 2 learns at home or in other learning venues, such as in barangay hall, learning through modules or performing assigned tasks. At the end of 1 week, Group 1 spends time learning outside at the school while Group 2 attends formal classes. At certain times, the two groups are gathered in one class to learn together as one group. MISOSA uses self-instructional materials or SIMs that contain the lessons to be learned for the day. It includes learning objectives, activities to work on, exercises, and questions to answer. Misosa has also enrichment activities utilizing the community resources as laboratory for learning aside from the classroom. That is, half of the class stays with the teacher while the other half stays with the teacher facilitator in the community school. This is done in compliance with existing policies. DepEd Order Number 23, Series of 2005, Reallotment. DepEd Order Number 33, Series of 2004, Re-regarding System. Order Number 53, Series of 2011, Re-policy Guidelines. Benefits in implementing MISOSA. Aside from addressing the issue of congestion, MISOSA implementation may also contribute to the following: resolving the problem of shortage of instructional materials, improving classrooms management, promoting equal access and opportunity of learning, institutionalizing systematic monitoring, developing pupil study habits, love of learning, and self-esteem, attending to the unique needs of individual pupils. Instructional management by parents, the community, and teachers, or impact. The extension of educational services beyond formal elementary education is also provided by impact. This was developed by CMU Inotech to address high student population and high percentage of dropouts. It is a management system where the parents, teachers, and community collaborate to provide children with high-quality education at less cost. Learning materials are based on the national curriculum standards of the Department of Education. The programs all use audio and videotapes in English, science, mathematics, Filipino, and information and communication technology in teaching the lessons. Impact offers 3 delivery modes. 1. Program teaching or employing bright pupils as program teachers who use specific teaching procedures. 2. Peer group learning of the grouping of 6 to 8 pupils who are heterogeneous in ability but who are studying the same core modules. And 3. Individual study or self-instruction that learner to learn at his or own pace. Impact also uses collaborative and self-directed approaches. A technology-enhanced alternative delivery mode developed to address high student population and high percentage of dropouts. Management system where the parents, teachers, and community collaborates to provide the children with quality education at less cost. Principles of the impact system. Children become active participants of the learning process. There are 3 primary modes of delivery as follows: program teaching, peer group learning, and individual study. And that's all for my report. Thank you.
Hello everyone, so I am Rogeline Ciensu. In your previous discussion, Ms. Mukanhai tackled about the alternative delivery modes of elementary level. And now for my discussion, I am going to tackle about the alternative delivery modes of secondary level. Okay, so what are the alternative delivery modes of secondary level? The alternative modes of secondary level consists of the following. First, the EASE. Second, the OHSP, third, the DORP, and lastly, the ALS, or commonly known as ALS. EASE means Effective and Affordable Secondary Education. This is one of the AMDs, a program designed and implemented to complement the existing formal system. This is also applicable for students with short-term or seasonal attendance limits brought on by their socioeconomic, geographical, or physical conditions. Second, we have here the OHSP. OHSP, or Open High School Program. This is the program for high school students who incur long-term absence or who are permanently unable to attend school due to time, distance, and financial constraints, social and family problem, or physical impairment. OHSP uses the concept of distance education as it offers self-regulating and adaptable study programs using self-instructional learning materials. They are supported by tutors whom they could meet occasionally for advanced and tutorial support. So what are the subjects in grading system or OHSP? If you guys are wondering, the subjects in the grading system or OHSP are the same as those of the standard high schools. As such, OSHP students graduate after completing secondary education. Well, you know what, guys? Both EASE, or Effective and Affordable Secondary Education, and OHSP Open High School Program are part of the DepEd Bureau of Secondary Education Dropout Reduction Program, or DORP. It addresses the needs of students at risk of dropping out, ZARDO. This means student at risk of dropping out, commonly known as ZARDO. Third, Dropout Reduction Program, DORP. Under the DORP, Zardos are provided three modes of learning to enable them to continue schooling even without attending formal classes. They are the modular system, wherein students are given learning modules which they can bring home for study. Internet-based learning, which is an online learning that is still being piloted. Blended technology, which is a merger of the modular and internet-based modes of teaching and learning. Now let's move on to ALS, or commonly known as ALS, Alternative Learning System. Currently, the DepEd offers ALS programs through the Bureau of Alternative Learning. The programs are Basic Literacy Program and Accreditation and Equivalency Program. Basic Literacy Program caters to those with little or no education, a community-based educational program designed to help adults, teens, and out-of-school children enhance their basic literacy abilities. Accreditation and Equivalency, or A&E program is offered for the literates who have not completed 10 years of basic education. A&E is a certification of learning for out-of-school youth and adults aged 15 years old and above who are unable to avail the formal school system or have dropped out the formal elementary or secondary education. After passing the A&D examination, passers have the following opportunities: enter college or university, enter other non-formal training program, enter formal training programs, enter or re-enter the world of work, enter and re-enter elementary or secondary formal school system, enter essential life skills to participate more fully and actively in the political, social, and economic lives in the community. Okay, Indigenous Peoples Education, a program that aims to develop an IP culture-sensitive core curriculum learning materials assessment tools instrument. For IP education, the core areas of curriculum are family life rather, civic consciousness, environment, health, sanitation, and nutrition, as well as also the economic and income. Informal education program provide opportunities for adolescents, parents, and street kids to gain knowledge and skills and to help them improve their character, attitude, and values from the daily experience at work, at play, and from light itself. ALS uses various modes of learning to be able to reach as many learners as possible. Methods include face-to-face instruction, radio-based instruction, computer-based instruction, and independent learning. Face-to-face instruction, conventional way of teaching which uses variety of strategies in different instructional or learning materials, while radio-based instruction utilizes a local community, other modes of broadcast. The core learning modules are transformed into radio scripts, which reproduce for public broadcast, and computer-based instruction provide ICT-enhanced educational opportunities for Filipino OSC, OSY, and OSA. Learners use ALS digitized learning modules that are interactive and self-paced. And lastly, the independent learning. Learners have their own choice of flexible time and learning materials. Used by the learners are integrated, self-instructional, self-paced, and indigenized. And that will be all for my discussion. Thank you so much for listening.
Such a wonderful and informative discussion from Miss Pakanlay and Miss Inso. Thank you to the both of you. And that's the end of our discussion. Thank you everyone for listening, and we hope that you enjoyed this discussion and that you have gained knowledge about the learner-centered teaching modalities and structures. Thank you everyone. Bye!